is Hank Hilliard. I am the Director of Youth Ministries at Franklin First United Methodist Church, and I started in that position in 2012. I found my way into youth ministry pretty much by accident. I was a finance major, and about 3 weeks before I was set to graduate, my dad called, and he was a pastor at my home church in Memphis, and he said, the church has decided to hire a youth minister, and so I think it'd be great if you applied. I didn't really think much of it, but I said, I'll go meet with them. And so I drove to Memphis for the interview, and they were really excited. So I really just decided to take the job there in my mind, I was going to do it for a year, and then I was going to go to graduate school. My goal at that point in life was to become a middle school principal. I can't point to any one event or moment that took place that was a defining, you need to do youth ministry. I think it was more like a relationship where you're friends with somebody for a really long time, and then you realize, I think we might like each other. And then eventually you realize, I think we're in love with each other. I tried to run away from it several times. Every time I try to step out of that relationship with youth ministry, something would happen that would direct me back into it. We moved from Memphis to Franklin in 2008. And so we tried a couple of churches in the area. But ultimately, Ryan and Allison Kreger were our neighbors, and they invited us to come to Franklin First. So we came on a Sunday, and we showed up, and about 2 minutes after we walked in the building, we got a call from Allison apologizing that they weren't going to be able to come that Sunday. So there we were, didn't know a soul in the church, and went to a Sunday school class, and it was just really awkward. In the car on the way home, I told Amy, I will never set foot in that church again. And so that afternoon, Allison called and explained they had a family emergency or something happened, and they couldn't come. And Amy, and she said, we'll be there next Sunday. And my wife Amy told her, well, sorry, Hank's not going to go again. And eventually, Allison talked us into going back again. And we went back the next week with Allison and Ryan. They walked us in and introduced us to people, and it was great. After I'd been serving in the youth ministry for a few months, the youth director at the time left for another church, and I actually became a member of the search team for the new youth minister. So I was kind of coaching and helping the search team, and the church was just really struggling to find the right person. And so finally one day I was at work and my phone rang, and it was Pastor Lynn. And Pastor Lynn just asked me, do you have a few minutes to talk about this youth ministry position? And he says, I think we hadn't been able to find the right person because I think you're the right person. And he goes, I thought about this a lot. And he said, I decided this morning when I was shaving that I was going to call you and tell you that I think you need to apply for this position because I think you're the right person. So he said, I just want you to think about it, and then I'm going to call you again in a day or two. So I went home that night after work, and I told Amy, I said, so Pastor Lynn called me today, and she said, oh, okay, what did he want? He wants me to apply to be the youth pastor at Franklin First. I said, how would you feel about it? And Amy just looked at me, she said, well, I knew it was coming eventually. I don't know why it took you so long. So she knew all along that I was supposed to apply for that job. And so with a little prodding from Pastor Lynn and my wife, I applied and was offered the job, and 10 years later, here I am. Life doesn't always go as you plan.